Mom, the only A you got maybe go.
Instead
of A, not maybe go.
You should really consider a change.
Keith Young.
Oh, he's very young.
Well,
So
we
wait,
knew you were my
Vanessa, you're
favorite.
definitely going to want to know if you don't know her yet.
I think I sent you an email, Vanessa Kramer. I'm the middle school technology collaborator.
Hi, Rose Barrett, AA for Business, Facts, and Technology.
And I'm Jane Lawrence, I'm AA for 612 Science.
Hi again, Sarah Chaffee, ENL and World Records.
Becky Farman, Director of Policy, Continuing Development. Giving Elizabeth Wood, Assistant Superintendent. I think you met. Michelle.
And we just met, Frank Rosario.
Very good. Welcome. So Vanessa and I were talking, I don't know, not too long ago, and she said she found this really cool thing in eDoctrina. And thought, okay, well, who am I to say whether or not we all know that this exists in eDoctrina? And when Vanessa gets excited about something, that usually means we have the potential to get teachers excited about something. And who better to start with than us in terms of building our awareness about what exists in the system. So, Vanessa, take it away.
Okay, thank you for asking me to come here today. When I started preparing for this, I kind of reflected on myself as a teacher from last year, so I'm going to share with you some of the reports. I always try to look at a technology platform, like how is this going to help me, how is this going to help my students, if at all, and that's, is it going to enhance what I'm already doing in the classroom? So I'm going to walk you through a series of things that I reflected on. I tend to be really hard on myself when I do reflections, so I might be hard on myself, and I hope you're hard on the data that I give you today too. I actually watched the whole video on eDoctrina instead of opening up my laptop and trying to shut her up, not shut her up in a nice way, trying to log out of Mrs. Burnout. I actually watched the whole thing and I clipped the graphic because I really do like the video's message. That this platform is really supposed to help us work as a team, which I get really excited about. It's supposed to pull together the teacher, the students, the parents, and the administration. That's you guys right there. And I really think the report I'm about to show you is going to do that. If you're ever thinking about using this platform when you present to your staffs, I really like that it goes right to your devices in case it's a huge group too that can't see your stuff in the back. But another pro of it is that if you have like presenter notes that you want to give here, you can also click on here to like remind yourself, did I hit all the things that I wanted to say? You have time to write here. I'm going to ask you to write if you don't mind. So I started reflecting on the major two reports that I give as a middle school math teacher, which were the interim and the report card. And I wanted you to put your parent hat on for a minute, if you don't mind. And I want you to think how you feel as a parent from seeing this. What are you feeling? What do you glean? What are you thinking? If you don't mind just typing and thinking.
I can't read the comments. Okay.
With my glasses on.
I'm so glad that you're doing that. You're asking me a question. If you click on that image, there's going to be a blue box with arrows popping out, and it should increase your screen. Now, when you want to click out of that, you can click again on that blue thing. It'll bring you back to normal where you can write. I was only able to, since this is my last year data, I was only able to pull all 4 quarters and only quarter 4 comments. I love that I can see all of your comments right here. As you're typing, I've projected us as a group. I'm going to stop you. This is another feature. Hope you don't mind. I'm just gonna, I'm so appreciative. Sorry, I hope I didn't cut you off at a bad time. But if you want to take a look at what your colleagues are writing, big picture, I love this one. It does not give me specific information about homework, test, quizzes. 66 not good. I've looked at that, and I felt the same thing that you're writing. Retake quizzes, yes. That's in there. I'd have questions, second and third quarter, why such a drop? And I'm going to tell you honestly that I don't write that in the interim like as good as I should. And this reflection actually made me like rethink my practice. Why such a drop? Interim comments feel aggressive, not sure what's missing. Okay, I'm just going to scroll through real quick, see if I missed any. Oh my God, I love this one. Did my child meet the standards? Okay, so appreciate the information. Sorry, I'm going through. Contributed. Okay, I'm going to unlock you right now. I'm going to take us off our projection. I felt awful when I looked at that, so I said, okay, don't overreact, Vanessa. You do a very good job at updating the portal. I feel like we have 80-20 tests and quizzes homework, and I thought that I did a really good job of giving the parents as much information as possible. But I actually want you to be critical, have a critical eye. I want you to take a look at the parent portal for a quarter and think about if you want to type anything. I'll give you a minute, 2 minutes. How do you feel about this? Do you feel that this has provided more data to the parents? Do you have any questions about it? I've never done this before. Reflected on my own parent portal. I'm going to pause you again. Sorry. I just want to make sure I get through all of my points in an effective time manner, too. All of these are great comments. I like the comments when my teacher includes them. I don't like the lack of detail. What was lesson 16, 17 homework? So when I looked back on it, I don't know how many of you have put stuff in the parent portal. It actually doesn't let you use as many characters as you would like in the description title, so it kind of stops you or cuts you off. So if you were going to write lesson 7-8 homework, ratios, and unit rates, it does cut off, so you would only be able to write usually ratios. So it gives you a very small window, but there are a lot of possible description paragraphs that actually, if I'm being honest as a teacher, take a long time to input. But I like all of these questions. I like that some of you noticed that the homework grades were good, in keeping in mind that it's only 20%, but I often reflect and do parents really understand the weighting of our categories? I'm not sure if they do. I think also in one of your comments here, somebody noticed that the quizzes seemed good, and then the unit test kind of was a bomb. Like, why was that? I'm going to tell you, I still didn't feel good as a teacher after I looked at that portal. I was kind of like, oh my God, after I know now what I know about eDoctrina. And that's kind of the purpose of me talking to Dr. Wood about this RTI progress tracker that I'm about to show you. This is 6th grade math is currently giving all of their common assessments on eDoctrina, and I was given permission from my replacement, Erin Turgenack, to use all of her data with you guys today. I actually like this screen a lot better. Is there anything you want to write or type, or we can even comment as a group if you don't want to do the typing anymore? Is there anything here that makes this data screen better than the ones that I've shown you previously?
It's easy to read very quick. The graph gives you all the information.
Amen to relative performance, because you cannot, I drive my own two crazy. They come home and, oh, I got an 82 on this. I'm like, okay, doesn't tell me much. How did everybody else do? Right? Because I don't know, but is an 82 really good or not good? And I feel like my two boys, their one takeaway from their whole school experience will be, my mother really only cares how I did relative to everybody else.
I might have to.
My daughter is sensitive. My daughter will come home and go, oh, we had this really hard test today.
Right.
Mom, everybody failed it. So then I know.
I would appreciate at least hearing everybody else failed it.
Yeah, but
I don't care.
yeah, but I take that with a
Right.
I take that with a grain of salt. I'm like, I can look this up on Infinite Campus if I really want to.
Mine actually comes home and says now, I got an 86, but Mom, the overall average really was like an 86. Like everybody bombed the test, or everybody
That
did
would be helpful.
Yeah.
I
She
think
does
it's
that now
even
because of-
powerful that your kids are telling you or even thinking about relative comparisons, because I think they're smart enough to understand. Even my 6th grade middle school students, they get it. So this bar is how the student did compared to the district average. And I just love that I know that all 3 buildings in math 6th grade are giving this test, so I know I have full data in there, which is powerful too. So this is the top of the RTI progress tracking report. What you're going to see next is what I get really excited about.
Just a quick question. This is noted on target. So we can actually put a target in like an 85 or like we wanted to. Okay.
I have not played with that feature, but you can actually set a target if you would like
So it may
to.
or may not be useful. Okay.
Yeah.
Think about how that might be helpful once the common assessment has been used for a while. The first time out is probably hard, but like the more we did it, the more we might say, yeah, 85 really is the target on this.
Yeah, and I actually like what you're saying on that too, because I know that this Module 4 assessment is very difficult and a lot of people do not do well on it. I'm actually impressed with that district average. One thing I did talk to Carrie about before this meeting started is the naming conventions of our common assessments, and I think we thought we were doing a really good job.
Yeah.
But Module 1 unit test, and then we started to get smarter, so we're doing CA6, but there's no math, and there's no topic of what we're actually testing them on, like ratios, fractions. So definitely the more detail we can provide, I think, in the naming conventions, the better reports like this are going to come out of it. So this is out of the top, and there's 3 pages of this report that I would just like you to look at. You don't have to type. But this RTI progress tracker lists all the standards that have been assessed in those 4 common assessments. It tells us how many times that assessment has been tested, and it tells us how our students did with a green or a red or an orange or a yellow, which kind of, I love this for parents. Like if I was going to send this home to them, that they could actually in a colored report be like, okay, these are 2 areas. Does anybody notice anything about the number of times that we asked the question? We talked about the validity of a report like this if we're only asking the standard question 1 or 2 times and they get 1 out of 100. That's why in my mind I would go back to the classroom and use this for every assessment, because linking the standards is so incredibly easy, and I'm going to get really powerful data back. For example, if I show you the next screen, this standard right here, 6NS2, has been addressed 5 times, and the student's only successfully been able to complete it 2, and it's fluently divide multi-digit numbers. So I know now as an RTI teacher, I know as a classroom teacher where I need to put my focus with this individual child. There was a couple other ones, like these 2 have been done 4 times, which it's better than 1 time. And the last page right here, 1 standard has been addressed 6 times in all 4 of our assessments. I actually think this is a good reflection tool for our assessments. Like, have we been equally and evenly asking all of our standards? Which Carrie does have us do in our test map. So we grumble for this. I love being honest with you guys because I feel like I am talking to you from what your employees are saying. When Carrie came to us and asked us to do this, really kind of were like, oh my God, why? No one's ever looking at these. We're just giving them to her. And then once we sat down and actually did it for our assessments, we're like, wow, okay, we're going to eat our words here because Carrie just made sure that we're addressing every single standard in our module. And then we liked it so much, we moved to all of our quizzes. So all of our quizzes are all, everything's test mapped, every assessment. And I feel really lucky to have the PLC that I have, who's got on board with giving common assessments and really starting to see the value in it. I hope that reports like this change everyone's mind in a way. And that's all I had on that report before I went to another eDoctrina thing. Did anyone have any questions about that or comments?
Well, I think that we've talked about, and that's the concept of whatever goes in, we'll bring it out. So whether we look at it as a process or, you know, like let's start with this, but ultimately a lot of these reports, and not just this one, if you put the standards in, it's very powerful. And if you don't, you're getting good data, but it's limited in terms of what you can do with it.
I feel like if you don't put the standards in, it's almost equivalent to like a Google Forms quiz or something that we've already always been giving, and it's not amping it up to the next level. But thank you for saying that. What we put into this, and I know it's cumbersome because I've been playing with it a lot, and I know it's sometimes hard to navigate, but it's very powerful tool.
So Vanessa, that last screen, was that all of, sorry, the one before that, where you could look and see, those are averages across all 6th grade math classes?
I'm so glad you asked that question because I wasn't clear. Thank you, Michelle. This is one report for one student. So this is your son or daughter, this is your student, and we can export reports like this based on every single student we teach so that they can kind of be engaged in their learning. Like, I love that when a kid's like, wow, I really don't know this. I don't know properties of operations. Like, I think that's when the real learning starts, when they can pinpoint with our guidance what they need to help. And I think the next level or the next question is like, what do I have, what resources do I have as a teacher to remediate this?
So I assume there's, I mean, I know there's also features in this where you can look at class averages for questions so that getting to that PLC piece of, wow, did anyone really teach this well and get a better result?
Yep. And this report is solely RT. It's not, I don't want to say RTI. I feel like it's good for all the students, not just our AIS kids. But it's telling, it's basically a standards report. It's a standard summary. How are you doing? Like, I think I would send this home at report card time. For all quarter one, here's the ratios module that we've completed. Here are the standards. Here's where your son is son or daughter is successful or not. I think it'd be really powerful. I feel like that's the data that parents would be looking for. A little bit more, it's engaging them in our classroom and our curriculum too a little bit more.
If you look at, you can pull up a kid, any kid, and see this for every subject. And the kids have their own accounts. The kids can look at their own results and see where they're red or yellow and design their own remediation plan, which I think is really cool. So, you know, Vanessa's showing you know, math.
Sorry, just because what I had.
Yeah, for permission to share. But if you look up, it's very, very easy too. If you log in, you can. I showed some of my teachers how to do it, and then we got really like. And if you change the year to all or any, I guess, it shows you all the kids' results on every standard, on every assessment, all the way back to kindergarten, if it exists. So it's.
I feel like that's a reason to get behind it too, because as a 6th grade teacher, when these kids are coming in, sometimes we get frustrated, like we don't really have that much elementary data. Where is it? Who has it? Walk down to the main office, which really is not that big of a deal in the grand scheme of things, but if it's a click away for teachers to say, okay, what am I dealing with here? I feel like it could help us better prepare to teach them for the next year.
I also heard that a couple of my teachers have used this in team meetings. So talking specifically about and with parents.
Oh yeah.
Talking specific, it kind of really targets the conversation with the parents, so it doesn't become like a, you know, bullying
children's doing the work and linking the standards. And they're doing this all the way through the year before we get to global regions. Look at the data they would have. And then I just see that growing out. But then if you're a teacher who has such a range of students in your classroom, being able to identify certain skills that are really needed by certain students, and then that teacher can take that back when they work with that student at other times or when they meet in small groups in the class. There is so much potential here for getting good information.
Asking about their class, their goals, you know, so really more specific, or just complete, so they're not so broad.
And I know I just presented on my subject. I did just present at the social studies meeting, and hopefully elementary school teachers, high school, take me up on this as well. If anyone wanted to do like an action research where they're like, I'm going to definitely, and I think there are some social studies teachers who are going to take me up on this. I'm going to give every assessment next year in eDoctrina in one class and compare it to another class, giving it away, and kind of see which I like better, pros and cons. I would be more than happy to help your staff. So, a couple other things. I love playing with eDoctrina too. John Bullington's actually responsible for this because we were in a meeting. He's like, I swear they said there was a blank answer sheet, and there's a blank answer sheet for student work, and I can show you what that looks like. It prints out with their information and a QR code on it. It can be printed blank or with lines. And I tried to play with it a little bit just to see, okay, what data does the teacher see after it's scanned in? And it does pick up the writing. It's not just a bubble sheet platform, which I fear that it will get turned into if some of these things the word isn't spread. And I do have a math teacher today who, luckily enough, if you can see this, and I explain it well, she was giving it online. It automatically grades it for her. She also gave her students the blank sheet to show all of their work. She scanned it in the copy machine, so then when she's looking at student A, 3 and 4, questions 3 and 4 are incorrect, she on the same screen can look at 3 and 4 and say, okay, where are we going wrong here? Super powerful, and I just copied this table onto 120 blank eDoctrina sheets. One place I think I hear most time English language arts, especially at the elementary school level, I know they do writing portfolios. I think it would be really cool if I talked to eDoctrina somehow and said, how can we get the student writing throughout the year on one platform and kind of keep it organized so teachers can access that? I'm not sure the answer to that question, but that's something that's in my mind. They can also put passages on there and annotate over them, and they also get scanned and screen captured in eDoctrina. So there are so many creative ways, and I feel like the more heads we put together, the better we're going to use this platform. And I think that that's all I had. And my last screen is just if you guys had any final thoughts, what are our next steps as a group, or any questions for me. Yes.
I have a question about the platform using that I wanted to steer. Well, eDoctrina, that's.
Oh, about creative play or question about eDoctrina?
Yeah.
Alright, so can you go back to that, where the scoring was? That one.
Yes.
So, okay, love that. Love all of that. It's the open-ended is what some teachers seem to be pushing back on, right? Because it seems like an extra step. So, is it true though that a student, it seems like a student being able to do the work, it comes up there, and a teacher can now go in and let's say kid scores a 3 out of 4, they can just punch in a 3.
Yes, and it's a drop-down menu.
Yeah. Okay.
It's
right?
different than anything we've ever used before, so
Yeah.
I think that's why, and
Yeah.
teachers are trying to find which screen works for them, because to be honest, it offers almost too many screens. It offers so many choices for teachers, I think that overwhelms some of them. But yes, it's a simple, if I can get into it right now, it's a...
That's how many teachers block it, and I get it, like they're looking at the paper, and they're used to putting a score on it, and they're seeing, oh, I have to go put a score into eDoctrina, and like it feels like double. Whereas if it's scanned, and now I'm actually just looking at it once
Let me see if I can find the assessment really quickly here just to show you guys what she's talking about. Sorry. And it yells at you a lot if you don't put the right stuff, but I'm starting to get used to getting yelled at on here, so I'm going to actually select Guana. And I hope that this doesn't deter people from all of the good stuff. So this was a screen, that presentation had a screen capture of this screen right here, where Erin was able to see the student work was this camera, and she just adjusted the screen to fit her screen. This is the drop down that Carrie's talking about. It gives the teacher the question and the student answer. And this, I mean, this is basic because hopefully in math we're going to get them to show all of their work on a Chromebook step by step. I know we can do it. But this is the drop down. Like you can either give them, this one was only worth 1 point, but say it was a 4-point value, they drop down, hit 4, and it automatically does it.
Vanessa, if we had a touchscreen Chromebooks or teachers had touchscreen Chromebooks, could they click on the two instead of having to go to another screen? And
Yeah.
Teachers are begging for touchscreen.
Be cool to pile.
I don't want to be here when you talk to Kim like that.
I'm the bad guy.
That's what I'm talking about. You.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
It might,
Carrie wouldn't do that.
might not be a bad thing to try with one course too.
No, really, they're begging every time. Yeah.
Well, I think
Begging for touchscreen.
I'm not really comfortable with giving teachers an enhanced version over what all the kids have for one-to-one rollout, and further exasperating the issue, or exaggerating the issue of, well, my device does this, but I don't know what yours does.
Yeah,
You're gonna have to figure it out.
Yeah, but the new desktops are touchscreen, aren't they? So maybe that's the sell. You can still do it, you just have to do it on your desktop.
Right.
You know, Chris Anderson, Dr. Wood, has a touchscreen Chromebook, so I can get in and play with it a little bit more and see if it's easier. He won it at a NARIC conference we went to. It was good for him.
Well, if you could get every math teacher at the middle school doing this.
Right.
Okay, I like how you bargain. That's good. I like a challenge. But thank you so much for. Oh, somebody did have a question too.
Again, I don't want to derail, but I've seen you use Pear Deck several times. What is the advantage of using this platform rather than just showing the slides, the fact that it can be interactive? Or are there other things that, like in a nutshell, why is it worth using?
I feel like it's interactive. You can ask a wide variety of questions, multiple choice, short answer, paragraph, essay. The kids can actually draw on it too with the upgraded version, which I'm trying to talk Dr. Wood hopefully into at some point.
This wasn't planned.
Pear Deck. But it really depends on like our teachers using it. Do they find value in it? Is it more? I personally love when I'm doing presentations that I know that you're kind of plugged in. I feel like the engagement level is so much different than like looking up here and click. So yeah, that now when I go to my Pear Deck account, and they've changed the interface this last week, so if I'm fumbling through it, it's because they've upgraded it. I can show you as a teacher. I just gave this session. I can click on it. I've had 11 students respond. And if I go to my dashboard now, and I kind of want to take a look at who's saying what, and I won't put you on the spot, but I can see, I can like evaluate their questioning, who's really answering, who's not. So it's, I think that's really powerful.
Teachers would love this. The health teachers would love this.
It's fun. I really like using it. So yeah, any teachers that would love to a training on that too, I'd be more than happy to help.
I'm thinking even for my own PD, that's what I'm looking for again. Because I'm in Google Slides, I'm using some technology, but when it comes down to doing responses, I'm still pulling on this. Not that this is bad, sometimes this is what you want to do, but I was just curious. Thank you.
It's good to switch it up, and I do find like at department meetings when you're trying to ask, I feel like I get more responses. I didn't use it at the last department meeting I presented on it, and I'm upset that I did because I wanted them to rank what I had listed to present as important, and when I asked, no one said anything. So I went through my whole list, and it was a dry meeting. If I had given them more choice in a silent manner, I think it would have been a much more effective meeting.
Great, thank you.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.